Sometimes there really are coincidences like this. But to think one would be me running into my older sister in the middle of the city like this? Even I was thinking that I'd never have to see you again, Jade. As large as New York City is, I guess we both just happened to be right here at the same time. But after seeing how healthy you're looking, Ariana, I can finally relax a little. You must have made it past being that dirty homeless woman you once were. I was honestly thinking you'd be living in the dirt and filth of New York City for the rest of your life. I was shocked to see you living the life of us normal folk. Huh? I still think about what happened 5 years ago. Especially that face you made when you found out your husband at the time, Trey, had thrown you away. Being kicked right out of the house you both had built and moved into. You were crying so hard that there were tears spilling out of literally every hole on your face. Well, I'm sure anyone would be crying like that during those times. Having your own husband stolen from you by your little sister? I'm sure any sane person would have been shocked. But the most entertaining part came right after that. While watching TV, there was this show about the homeless in New York. And when you had a really good look at the line of hobos at the soup kitchen, there you were. Your clothing was all in tatters and you looked dead lined up with all those druggies and forgotten veterans. When we saw you lined up like that, both Trey and myself burst out laughing. And I'm going to assume that neither of you would be able to imagine how difficult it was for me to get back to my original life from there. Sorry about that. But I've never had to be a hobo myself, so I would never be able to imagine such a thing. To be honest, I didn't even think someone could live their life normally after losing their house. Don't ever talk to me again. Just from these texts we've been sending back and forth alone, my heart is starting to race again and my forehead is beginning to sweat. What? We were finally able to meet back up after 5 years of being apart, and that's how you're going to treat me? I'm your only little sister after all, so you should be more open to me again. Oh, that's right. If you don't mind and can make it, I'd like to invite you to our next home party. Just recently, we had another house built, so we need to have a party there as well now to christen it. You had another house built? Was the house you stole from me not good enough? You kicked me out of there 5 years ago, saying you'd be making that your guys' love nest and everything. So why do you both need to build a new house? We've done this because we both realized the last house wasn't good enough for us. It was in a nice location and all, but having to live in the same house as Trey's ex-wife was a little tough on the heart. So Trey went ahead and had this new house built for the two of us. You're kidding me. Then what's going to happen to the last house? We had it demolished and sold the land back to the realty company. We made sure that the house that had all your memories with Trey could never be seen again. What the hell, Jade? If you both were just going to end up tearing it down anyway, why did you both have to take it from me in the first place? Oh, now that you say it that way, I suppose you're right. Sorry about that. I guess the both of us just made you homeless for no reason at all now. But of course, that was a great experience for you, so I'm sure you'll forgive us for that one. Anyway, the next time I text you will be about the home party, all right?
I heard about you from Jade. You able to crawl back out of that life as a homeless person, huh? Congratulations.
Thank you so much for taking the time to text me now. But I'm sure you have more to say to me than just congratulations, right?
Huh? There's something else I should say?
I heard about this from Jade. That house you both stole from me, you had demolished and then sold the land, right?
You want to talk about that? We were to make some decent money off that place. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it? I was the owner of that house, so there should be no problem with me having it torn down and sold.
I understand that you were the owner, but I had one request from you, right? If you guys were ever going to leave that house, to tell me about it then. I told you that if you were going to sell it, I would buy it, so don't sell it to anyone else. I asked you that so many times after you threw me away, right?
Oh, wait, what? You said all that to me?
Shut the frick up, you bastard! You knew all along what I asked from you. You knew just how many times I told you that I wanted to keep that house if you both were going to let go of it. That house held so many memories of myself and Mickey in it. When I was single, I had always been living with Mickey. And after having lived with one another for so long, we moved into that new house with you. You knew just how many final memories I had with Mickey in that house and how important it all was to me.
Ah, now I'm starting to remember. I suppose you did say some of those things to me before you left. You wanted the house back because of your memories of that cat?
I was already sad because of the fact you both stabbed me in the back, but what really shocked me was getting kicked out of that house. That's why the whole time I was homeless, I worked my butt off to make it back to a life where I could make money again. I was planning to buy that house back from you two. Yet you both went and freaking tore that house down and sold the freaking land.
Hey, don't get so upset over it. The house is gone now. There's no going back to it.
What the hell is wrong with you? I am never gonna forgive you for that, you jerk.
I don't need your forgiveness. How you think of me literally has nothing to do with my life now. And the fact that you're turning into a witch over some memories you had with some silly cat. How can you be so attached to the memories of that cat?
Excuse me?
Why don't you just get yourself a new cat? There's no way a woman that just crawled back from being a hobo could afford to have a cat. I'm so sorry for suggesting something a lowlife would never be able to do.
This coming weekend, I'd like you to come to our house. All right, Ariana? We'll be having that party I was talking about with you a few weeks ago. We plan to have tons of really good food there for everyone to eat, so make sure that you fill up. I'm sure it will all be better than that food from that soup kitchen. I'm sorry, but I'm sure there are plenty of other people you can invite to that party. I have no interest in seeing your guys' newly built house. What was that? Could this mean that you are still upset about the fact that we tore that old house down? I heard about how you felt from Trey about that, but you need to stop crying like a baby and grow up. No matter how mad you get, there's no way you can go back in time and fix things. Huh? And really, I would like you to hurry up and come see our beautiful and high-class home we have now. I want to see the face you make when you see how luxurious this house is. I'm just shaking in my chair right now just thinking of how you'd react. If it's that luxurious that I'll be shocked that much, what house did you guys end up having built? Oh, you're wondering about that? Well, this house happened to cost us both $2 million. $2 million? You both ended up spending that kind of money on it? What do you think? That's pretty amazing, right? Not only is it crazy that we both have a house built here in New York City, but we ended up spending $2 million on it. The fact that I get to live in such a gorgeous house as this now makes me a winner. Where did the two of you end up getting that kind of money from? Even with the money from the land you sold before, there's no way you made even $1 million off that land. But here's the thing. We did make that kind of money for this new house. My husband, who I love so much, has really been moving up in his company, and that's where all this money came from as well. That all then allowed us to get this huge loan on the house and everything with no questions whatsoever. What? You're telling me Trey has been getting promoted? Trey? The guy that never once got a promotion while I was with him, and if anything got moved down in salary. For some reason, ever since we got married to one another, Trey's been fighting like a boss. He told me he wanted to show me how amazing he is, and so he started to focus all his energy into work. And because of all that energy, he was able to get promoted. And now he's working high up in that company. You're lying, right? Not at all. And not only was he able to move really high up in this company, but other companies have been calling to him as well. Companies that have been really wanting to hire him into their ranks. After being promoted so much, the fact that he's now even being asked to join other companies is amazing. When a proper woman becomes a man's wife, they will usually start to show their true strength. In other words, all that's happened is because of me. He's already chosen to join a new company now that is going to pay him even more, and he won't even have to work as much. That's why the both of us decided that it was worth it to pay $2 million for this home. Living in a really nice house like this should only make him want to work harder and make us even more money. I see now. So that's how you ended up with a place like that. And starting next year, he will be making another $100,000 on top of what he's already making, so we'll be frickin' rich. Oh, and of course, that's only going to be his base pay. There will also be things like bonuses and extra money coming in due to his success. We really will be making an insane amount of money with all of that. That really is amazing of him. The fact that a man like Trey could ever get into a position like that. Are you aware of the company Fly High USA? They happen to be at the top of the stock market right now. That's the company that's called for my husband to go work there. What did you say? Did you really know about that company then? Well, I suppose it isn't too strange for even someone of your class to know about them. They are ranked in the top 100 companies in the world and are moving their way up to being in the top 50. Did Trey really get asked by a company like that to go and work for them? Has he already confirmed that he'll be going to that company now? Yes, he has. He had to take one basic exam to enter the company with that interview, but he finished that like a piece of cake, he said. And since it was the company asking to hire him in the first place, that means there's no way he wouldn't be getting the job there. No way. And I'm sure part of all this has to do with having me as his wife. Seeing him gaining all this energy after marrying me has really got me jumping with joy. Back when I had first seen him with you, I knew he was the one for me. My heart was racing, and I thought to myself, as long as I had him, then my life would be perfect. I wouldn't have to do a thing, and I would become a celebrity. I'm just glad I was just listening to my intuition there. I made the right choice stealing a man like Trey from you, Ariana. What? So you're telling me that you stole him from me because of that reason? What do you mean, because of this reason? Intuition is a very important thing. Because I listened to it, I was able to get myself this man and a new house for myself. Who would have thought, though, that my sister was married to a man that could make it this far up in the world? I'm sure you are so jealous of me right now, considering my Trey is going to be making another $100,000 here soon on top of what he was already making. That company happens to be my husband's, though. What? I never thought something like this could be happening. I need to go and check with him about all of this right now. Sorry, but I have to go. Wait a second, please. What do you mean that's your husband's company? And wait, what's this about a husband? Ariana, did you get married again? Yes, I did get married again. I can see that you probably can't believe what you're hearing right now, but while I was homeless, I ran into this wonderful man. He was one of the volunteers at that soup kitchen I'd always go to, and he and I both became really close to one another. What? You found the man you would later marry while you were homeless? He was such a soft and kind gentleman, and he really did his best to help cheer me on as I worked my way back into society. Then, once I had found myself a new job and got a place to live, he confessed that he loved me. Of course, I said okay to us starting to date, but after that, there were so many surprises for me. I never thought that the man working at the soup kitchen all the time as a volunteer was also the CEO of a company as large as Fly High USA. Huh? When I learned just how large that company is, I really started to wonder how I was so fortunate to run into a man like him. You're lying about all of that, right? It was already hard enough for me to believe that you got married again. But the man you ended up with happens to run a company like that? And to make everything all the more crazy, that's the company that Trey will be going to? I'm just as shocked as you are right now. That's why I need to go have a word with my husband this instant. Now that I have to run, this is goodbye, Jade.
Hey, Ariana. I already heard some things from Jade, but you really got married again? And the man you got married to happens to be the CEO of Fly High USA? So now you're the CEO's wife?
I wouldn't say that any of his responsibilities have fallen on me as his wife just yet, but yes, He is the CEO, and I am now his wife. And to think a company like my husband's actually reached out to try and hire you.
No way. This is all a joke, right? So were you the one that went and talked to your husband and had his company turn me away from being hired now? Knocking me down like that all because of some personal issues you have? Don't you dare start screwing around with me. I was just called by the company and they told me they won't be hiring me anymore. They told me that I failed the interview and all that and can't be hired. No matter how you try and think about it, there's no way I failed. I was given that exam and interview because the company wanted someone like me. They asked me to come and join them. Are you all trying to play games with me right now by asking me to join the company and then telling me no?
Ah, I see now. So this is about what happened there.
This is definitely all because of you. You asked your husband to fail me like that and turn me away. You've really gone and done it now to me.
Hold on now, Trey. I think you're mistaken here. I'm sorry that everything lined up like this in terms of timing, making you want to blame me. But you failing that interview was not my doing. By the time I was talking with my husband about you, you had already taken your exam and interview and were chosen to be turned away because of those results.
What did you just say?
I understand that it's very upsetting to be asked to join a company only to be turned away by them after your interview with them. But that just means the company misunderstood your abilities and can't hire you based off of how you did when you came and actually spoke with the interviewer. From what my husband said, the way you behaved during that interview was awful.
Huh? The way I behaved at the interview was awful?
You seem to have thought the interview was only being done as part of the company's process and wasn't really real. But to both my husband and the HR department, that interview was very much real and being taken seriously. I get that you thought you would already be getting the job due to the company asking you to join them. But when it came to the way you communicated during that interview and you view in terms of value, you were not the person that they wanted. They wanted that interview done in order to get one last good look at you before hiring you. But you didn't take it seriously at all, and that really showed them the true Trey.
What?
Trey, you were already very late to that interview, correct? And when you arrived, you didn't even bother to apologize for being late, only replying by saying that you would already had the job, so what was the big deal? Then you never even answered any of their questions regarding the work you were doing at your previous company, all before you walked out of there saying, "See y'all later." The company's introduced many people into their ranks by asking them to join because of their skills, but they have never had someone as ignorant and rude as you end up being a part of the people they were originally wanting. This led to everyone in HR, along with my husband and his committee, to all saying no to hiring you.
You're kidding! So you're telling me it's because of my behavior that I was turned away?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So please stop blaming me for something you did.
No. There's no way that's happening. No matter how bad my behavior was then, they were the ones that wanted to hire me. So how could they turn me down like that at the last minute?
They could do it because this is business. If they ended up hiring someone like you, then they would have to pay you close to $300,000 a year to act like a complete jerk around the office. They can't take risks like that for someone as replaceable as you.
No way.
My husband was laughing a whole lot about this. He never thought that the man who blatantly failed his interview was the same man that made me homeless. He always thought that a man who could do that to me was troubled mentally and was sure glad that your mental issues came out during that interview.
Shut the frick up. Then what the hell am I going to do now? I never thought that I'd be turned away from that company like this. I already told my previous company I'm quitting because of the new job.
You did? You haven't even confirmed yet whether or not you were getting the job at this company, yet you already went and quit your last job? Normally, you shouldn't make a move until you know you've gotten that new job, right?
But I seriously didn't think there was a chance of me not getting the job. What am I gonna do? I already went to my old boss and manager and bragged to them about the new job I'm getting. If I go back to them and say I'm not quitting after all because I got turned away, I can't be in such an embarrassing situation like that.
Well, then you'd better hurry up and find a completely new company that will hire you. I was told that plenty of other companies were also wanting to hire you, right? Hurry up and start telling them that you'll take the job and go to their interviews. Ariana, please, can you please lend me some money? I just need $30,000 from you is all. What? Right now we won't be able to pay the loan on our house. At the end of this month, we have to make another payment, yet we have nothing in our bank accounts. You're joking, right? You guys didn't even have any savings? Well, when we moved into this house, we went out and bought all of our furniture and electronics to fill the house with. We also went out and bought a brand new Ferrari. I didn't think that all of that spending would come and bite us in the butts this month. After having to pay for all of those other things, we have no money for the loan. I see. And that's your reason for wanting money from me now? Don't you think, for starters, you can pay us enough for the next couple of months to pay off some of the loan? We never thought that Trey would end up being turned away from that job at Fly High USA. He is trying so hard right now to find a new job, but he won't ever be paid in time for this next payment. That does seem pretty tough for the both of you. But I'm not handing you any money. If you are all out of money, then go find yourselves a loan shark or someone to borrow from. And right now, no one is willing to give us money. Not even the loan sharks around here. The fact that we have this massive loan to pay off, as well as the fact that neither of us are working, they all tell us that they will never get any money back from us, so there's no agreement that can be made. Everyone keeps turning us away, banks and loan sharks alike. Oh dear. So please help us. And if you'd really like me to bring this up, he was once your husband and he's at fault for all of this. I think you have to be just as responsible for this happening as he is. Oh, hold on. That's your husband now, and so far, what's happening is exactly what the man deserves. He went into my husband's company with a toxic attitude and tried to act as though he already had the job. These days, loans on houses are really tough. And since this house is so expensive, things have been made worse. We could try and tell the bank to give us a little more time, but then the interest would skyrocket on us. Oh, is that right? So please, I am seriously asking for just a little money from you. You're the wife of a CEO after all, so you should have tons of money you can use, right? Of course we'll pay you back that money you lend us someday. I'm really sorry, Jade. Just like the two of you, I don't have any money in my savings. Huh? Not even a penny? Even though you're married to a CEO? You guys went and sold the land from the previous house, right? Well, I just recently went and bought that land back from the realtor. And in order to do that, I had to use up all my money that I had saved. Huh? I no longer have the house that contained all my best memories, but at least the land is still around for me to keep. So I'm thinking I'll have a new building built here and I'll turn it into a cat cafe in memory of my Mickey. That's always been a dream of mine ever since I was a little girl. Are you being serious right now? You really went and spent all your money on that? Actually, as of right now, I'm in a little bit of debt myself. I had to borrow some money from my husband to make things work, and we'll have to pay him back later. So let's the both of us do our best to make some money. I want to save all kinds of cats off the street and make them my employees, and then make the money to pay my husband back. You're making it seem like you care more about those cats than your own sister. Well, of course I am. They are all cats after all. All so cute and fluffy. Way more cute than you are, especially. What? I understand that a lot of people think that cats can be mean and all, but when you treat them nice, they'll respect you as family. Unlike the two of you, who are neither cute nor have the ability to treat anyone nicely, no matter who they are or what they do. Excuse me? Before you start to cry and beg for my help, why don't you help your husband out by finding yourself a job as well? You're not making any money yourself, and if you can't pay off that loan soon, you'll both be evicted from there by the bank. If that happens, then you both will become the newest additions to New York's homeless. Come on now, Ariana! I will not let myself become homeless! I'll send you a list later on of all my most recommended soup kitchens around the city. Good luck to the both of you now! These are all things I've heard from rumors, but it sounds like Trey, although very embarrassed in doing so, tried to go back to his old company and ask for them to forget about him quitting. But that company had already finished the process of letting him go, so there was no way back into his old job. He then began to freak out and started calling all the companies that had been wanting to hire him before. However, all of them had gotten other people to apply within that time, so there were no more positions open for Trey. Due to there being no easy jobs for him then, Trey went and sold that brand new house back to the bank, and in a single day moved out into a very small and cheap apartment with Jade. The only problem is that even with selling the house back, they would still need to owe around $200,000 to the bank. So right now, they're both working about 3 jobs each at local bars and diners, paying off whatever they can each month. It seems that things really didn't go their way when Trey didn't get that job he bragged about, and they couldn't keep the house that they were also bragging about. Now, with them being in pretty serious debt to the bank, who knows when they'll be back to living the life they were so accustomed to.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
It's time for you to grow up, join the real world, and finally get a job. Did you think that you were going to be able to just use your parents' money for the rest of your life? Well, I'm not going to stand by and do nothing while you freeload your way through life. It's pathetic.
Wait, what is this all about me getting a job? I do work. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? I know that all you do is spend your time going out to things like concerts all the time. I've heard all about it from Mom. She told me all about how you've been traveling to all of the country just to go and see some of these shows, and all on Mom and Dad's dime, huh? You must really have no shame.
I do go to a lot of concerts, yes, but it isn't Mom and Dad who are paying for them. Besides, I do have a job and I'm allowed to spend my money however I'd like. I don't know why you think you have a right to tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing with my money.
Do you ever get tired of lying right through your teeth like that? I know for a fact that you're home basically all day just goofing off and being a bum. You quit your job and ever since then, you've been at home and refused to take any responsibility. Can you please just stop with all of these lies already?
Why won't you listen to me? What would I have to gain from lying to you?
I don't need to listen to you because I hear all about what you're really doing from Mom and Dad. They are getting fed up with having you around the house at all hours of the day, never giving them any kind of break from you. I even heard them say that they want you to find a job right away.
Did Mom really say that about me? She said that I need to find a job?
That's right. She's sick of having you leech off her and not contribute anything. And I'm shocked that you could even do something like that. I thought you had more pride than be a total bum all day. But instead, you just force our parents to pay for whatever it is, whatever concert you want to go to, without care in the world. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Carrie.
Wait, Elena. I really think that there has to be some kind of mistake here.
There's no mistake, and I'm sick and tired of your excuses. If you have all of this time to make reason why can't you work, then you should be out there looking for a job instead, or at least be out there looking for a rich man who can give you what you've been taking from Mom and Dad.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I'm your younger sister, in my 20s, and even I'm married, but you're well into your 30s and are basically an old maid at this point. You don't want to wait too long for these things, or else you might miss your chance for the right marriage.
Well, first of all, I don't really even want to be married. So I don't feel any pressure of a ticking clock or anything like that.
Yeah, that sounds like something someone who isn't able to find anyone to marry them would say. You can't just be honest with me and say that you really want to get married. I don't know why you have to be trying so hard pretending to be this person that you're really not. Maybe if you just stopped all the lying and tried to be more genuine with people, you wouldn't be such a loser.
Excuse me? And just how am I a loser, huh?
I'm not going to retype everything that I just said, but suffice it to say that I can't just sit back and watch you act like this anymore. I can't sit back and watch you do this to Mom and Dad anymore. You need to either get a job or get married. I don't care which, but I'm not going to let this go on without saying anything anymore.
Hey, Mom, if you have a problem with living with me, I really wish that you would just come out and say it to me. I don't want to hear this kind of stuff because you were grumbling about it to Elena.
Grumbling? Carrie, what on earth are you talking about? I have no idea what this could be about.
I've already heard it all from Elena, Mom. She told me about how you complain to her about living with me every day, and that you feel like I'm not giving you any room.
Oh my gosh, did Elena really go and tell you all of those things? What is she thinking, coming to you with those kinds of complaints?
She was worried for you and Dad, and that's why she told me all of what you were saying. But from the way she made it sound, you're already really sick and tired of having to live with me.
Now look, Carrie, we're family, and I think we all reserve some right to grumble about each other to other family. Besides, I don't think that I did anything by expressing some frustrations to Elena when she doesn't even want to live with us.
Well, I don't get why you were making those complaints to her in the first place. I mean, the whole reason that I'm home so often is because I work from home, and the reason I do that is because you insisted on me finding a job to allow me to do so. You're the reason that I'm home all the time, don't you get that?
Oh, please. You make it sound like as if I forced you to do all of that. I didn't do anything of the sort. You could have just said no if you wanted to.
Are you kidding me? You literally threatened me if I didn't. It all started 2 years ago when you fell and broke your leg. I didn't mind letting you and Dad move in with me then, but then you started to talk about how dangerous it was for older people to be left at home alone. That's when you started insisting that I could find a job that I could do from home. You told me that if I didn't do that, then the next time you or Dad got hurt, it would be all my fault.
I don't really remember saying any of that to you, though. I'm pretty sure that you were the one who was worried and that you changed jobs all on your own volition.
Are you kidding me with that? That's ridiculous.
Now, don't get me wrong, Carrie. I'm very grateful that you made that decision for us, but still, how can we not feel a little trapped when you're home all day long? And when you work, we feel that we aren't allowed to make any kind of noise until you're done. I mean, we can't even watch TV in our own home anymore because we're worried it would distract you from your work.
Well, that's why I give you and Dad $1,000 a month. You both are more than welcome to take that money and use it to enjoy yourselves outside of the house. After all, you're the one that told me that your retirement money wasn't going to be enough for the two of you to live off of. But if you're not even spending your money on anything, then why am I still giving you money every month?
Well, your father and I would go out more often, but we just feel like it's still not enough to cover all of the expenses. If you really wanted us out of that house badly, I think you would be able to pay us a bit more, don't you think?
If you're already so eager to get out and do things, can I take that to mean that your knees are feeling much better then? Because quite frankly, I'm sick of feeling like I'm the one who's in the way, when I only even started to work from home at your request.
Well, fine then. If it's really that bad, then why not just look for a whole new job, huh? But if you do that, just make sure to give your father and I some more money every month. $1,000 simply isn't going to do it. I think we need at least $1,500.
Are you kidding me? The whole reason that I'm encouraging you two to go out more is because you keep complaining about me working at home. If I'm not working at home, then I'm not paying for you two to go out either. It's one or the other, but you can't have it both ways.
Well, that just won't do. Your father and I have plenty of things that we would like to go out and do. Especially your dad. He's gotten into all kinds of new hobbies thanks to you, and those hobbies cost money. You started all of this, so you follow through with it.
I really can't believe that you're treating me like this.
Just hurry up and find a new job already. One where you'll be able to pay us more than just $1,000. Don't you want your dad to keep enjoying himself in his old age? Anyways, I'm still not back home yet, so I want something warm for dinner waiting on a table for me when the time I get back home. Hey sis, I just wanted to let you know that I heard the good news. I heard all about how you finally decided to get off your lazy butt and found yourself a job. Not only that, I heard you're already on a business trip and overseas too.
How many times am I going to have to tell you that I was never the jobless shut-in that you thought I was? But yes, if you must know, I am away on a business trip right now. I'm in Australia right now, but since it's in the southern hemisphere, it's still winter here.
Well, you mean they sent you all the way to Australia? And Mom and Dad really bought that story?
What do you mean they bought that story? What story are you talking about?
I mean, that you might have been able to fool those two with such a simple lie, but I see right through it. There is no way that you just start working for somewhere and they're already sending you around the world.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, Elena. I'm literally away on a business trip in Australia right now. There's no lie or trick or anything like that.
Why do you insist on keeping up this game after you've been already caught? You're probably not even in Australia, are you? You're probably just away at some other concert right now. You're lying about this business trip just so that you can go on a trip of your own. You probably haven't even started looking for a job yet, have you? Because even if you did have a job, I can't imagine anyone ever trust you enough to send you across the world like that. That's how I know this whole thing is just a lie. None of this is adding up.
I really don't even know what to say to you anymore, Elena.
Well, I'm just as shocked to think that you're so against working that you would lie to your own family like this, all while spending our parents' money on whatever you want. You are really the lowest of the low.
For the last time, I am not jobless. I literally have a job. I'm employed and you are just making all the wrong assumptions about me based on what Mom has been telling you. I just wish that you would listen to me for once.
And why would I waste any time listening to you when I know you're not going to tell me the truth? You don't even deserve to live with our parents if you're going to treat them like this. I never want you coming back home again. I've already thrown out all of your things, so you don't have a place to come back even if you did.
Wait, what do you mean you've thrown all my stuff away?
Well, you weren't looking for a job or a man, and it's clear you weren't going to change your ways anytime soon. So I knew the only option I had left was to force you out of the house by any means necessary.
And that's why you had to throw away all my belongings?
That's right, and once I did, it was like the whole house breathed a sigh of relief to be finally rid of you. You should see Mom and Dad. It was like they just de-aged by 10 years after realizing they would never have to deal with you again.
Please tell me this is some kind of joke.
It's no joke at all. And after I got rid of all of your stuff, they asked me if my husband and I wouldn't mind moving in with them. Everyone is so happy that you're gone. You would think it was someone's birthday or something. Mom said that she was so happy that we're going to be moving in because it means she might eventually be living with her grandchild.
So Mom and Dad are really that happy that I'll be moving out? And they had no problem with you throwing away all of my stuff either?
I really don't get why you're talking as if you're some kind of victim here. You were always the bad guy, never working, and always making Mom and Dad pay for everything. Can you blame us for never ever wanting to see you again? That's why I had to throw away all of your things, to prevent you from ever even thinking about coming back home.
And you're really sure that it's all over? Thank you so much.
Thank you? What do you mean? You're not supposed to be thanking me for this.
But I'll never have to go back home again thanks to you. You have no idea how huge of a favor you've just done me. I don't have to live with Mom and Dad anymore. This must be what it's like to be released from prison after being locked up for so long. Oh, I really just can't thank you enough for this, Elena.
Hold on a second. What's going on here? Did you hit your head or something? I just kicked you out of your own home and you're happy about it? This doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry, I'm feeling just fine, actually. But I was thinking for such a long time of how I could move out of the house without causing too many problems. But you've gone and solved all of that for me. It's just incredible.
But you're supposed to be some antisocial shut-in. Why are you so happy to be kicked out of the house? You don't have a man or a job or anything.
Elena, I've told you 1,000,000 times already, I do have a job. And I've contributed more than my fair share into expenses for the house. In fact, I was even giving Mom and Dad $1,000 a month to spend on whatever they wanted.
Wait, You were helping them pay for things around the house and you gave them an allowance?
Well, you know how Mom is always complaining about me hanging around the house so much, right? I actually agreed to pay them some money every month so that they could try and find things to do outside of the house while I worked.
So, then you've been just working from home this whole time?
That's right. You remember a few years ago when Mom fell and broke one of her legs, right? Well, after that, she insisted that I find a job I can do from home so that I could take care of her. So I quit my job and found one that would let me do all of my work from home. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but I did it for Mom.
Are you serious about all this? I really had no idea at all.
Well, it's true, but I hate working from home and it leaves me feeling more drained than when I used to go into an office for work. Not only that, but I feel like I'm on double duty at home because of having to deal with our parents. Plus, Mom just came to me recently asking me to up the money I was giving her from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I knew then that I'd have to find a way to get out of living with them.
Mom wanted $1,500 a month just to go out and find things to do during the day?
Pretty much, although I understand that she just uses all the money to take bi-weekly trips to a spa resort instead.
Why am I just learning about all of this now?
Elena, I really can't thank you enough for freeing me from that life. I was busy looking for a new job and even a new place. I reached out to my current job asking if they had any options for me, and they said they were looking for someone to go on a business trip. I had to move to a new department within the company, but if it meant getting out of the house for a while, I couldn't turn it down. But now, thanks to you, I don't even have to worry about going back home ever again now.
Wait, hold on, I'm still so confused. So you're telling me the truth about all of this? Even giving Mom and Dad an allowance? I won't have to pay them anything like that though, will I?
That really isn't any of my business, sis. You're gonna have to talk that one out with Mom and Dad. But I know that they've been using that money to get into some new hobbies that are apparently quite expensive. And they won't be content to just live off their retirement money either. So I can't imagine they would be very happy if all their fun money just dried up overnight. Although, now that I'm kicked out of the house, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's your problem to deal with now.
Carrie, you have got some explaining to do, young lady. Did you hear about how your sister got laid off? Your father and I just heard the news about Elena and her husband now.
Wait a second, both Carrie and her husband were laid off at the same time?
Well, you did know that they worked at the same place, didn't you? And unfortunately, their company had to make some staff cuts and neither of them made it.
Wow, well, it sounds like things are a real mess over there then.
I thought something might have been up when she asked if they could move in with your father and I. But we have no idea it was because the two of them had lost their jobs.
Okay, Mom, just settle down for a second. It's not either their fault that they lost their jobs in some corporate downsizing. But I'm sure they'll be able to find new jobs right away.
I certainly hope so. But either way, it takes time to find new jobs. And until they do, and are making money again, you're going to have to keep helping us pay our bills. Not to mention the money your dad and I continue with all of our new hobbies. I just don't understand how could this happen. How are we supposed to pay all of our debts at this rate?
Wait, your debts? What do you mean by that, Mom?
Well, I told you that your dad and I had picked up some new hobbies that cost money, didn't I? One of those new hobbies just happened to be playing poker at a casino.
You've been using the money I've been giving you to gamble?
Well, at first it was just a little bit of money, but before we knew it, we'd lost all track of time. We weren't going on trips or anything, just spending all of our money at the poker table. We just thought if we had one big break, we could win everything we'd lost back.
I can't believe you two!
Well, blame your father. He's the real one with the issue. He just doesn't know when to stop. He keeps going to the ATM, says that he doesn't have any more money left in the bank.
And so now you two are in debt because of this. Just how much money do you owe?
It's sitting at something like $5,000 or so. But we were using that money that you gave us to help pay that down. So that's why you can't just stop giving us money, because you're not living here anymore. Especially now that I know Elena and her husband are unemployed.
Well, it sounds to me like you two haven't done a very good job of paying that down at all.
Carrie, please. You need to do this for your family. We're begging you here. We know that you have a job, and we won't ask for too much. Forget the 1,500, but at least keep sending us the 1,000.
You've got a lot of nerve asking me for money after helping Elena throw me out of the house. I don't think I owe you anything after that.
You little brat! What kind of way is that to respond finding out that your parents are in financial trouble? What happened to the sweet daughter who changed jobs just to take care of us?
I'm afraid that girl is long gone, Mom. You and Dad only have yourselves to blame for getting rid of her.
Just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that if you want money, you're gonna have to start working again and earning for yourselves. I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
I can't believe you, Carrie. You're the worst. And I can't stand living with Mom anymore. She is driving me crazy.
Oh, Elena, what's the matter? I thought that you were looking forward to finally living with our parents again.
Don't you pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. Did you know all about the debt they have?
I actually just learned about it recently. I had no idea about it while you were throwing me out, but afterwards Mom told me about it.
Well, I also just found out about those two spending all their time at the casino gambling their money away. Apparently they're already $10,000 in the hole.
Oh, really? Wow, that's twice the amount that Mom said the debt was.
She told me the same number you did, but I did some investigating in their accounts and found out they really owe $10,000. Can you believe that? How could they be so irresponsible?
I really do have to agree with you on that one, Elena.
And now Mom won't get off my back about finding a new job. She's coming into my room every day, asking if anyone has called back for an interview yet. And she keeps spamming with me with links to various job listings, and she isn't giving me any privacy at all.
Okay, Elena, let's just take a breath here. I mean, Mom and Dad have always been like this. You know that. Isn't that the reason why you got married and moved out as quickly as you did?
Well, yeah, but I guess I thought they would have chilled out after all this time.
I'm afraid that I can tell you from first-hand experience that they have not.
But none of this is my fault anyways. It's not like I was fired. I was let go because my company had to downsize. We barely have any savings of our own as things are now. That's why when I thought you were just goofing at home without working, I figured that it was my turn to live off of Mom and Dad for a while. And after I go through all of the work to kick you out, I found out that Mom and Dad are actually swimming in debt.
I'm sorry, but it sounds to me like I'm not the one you should be mad at. Mom took me for granted and spread lies about me to you, and look where it got you both.
Well, that's not my fault. Mom was lying to me, so I can't be responsible for my actions. And now that Mom knows I don't have a job anymore, she's just a jerk. And on top of that, she won't stop asking me for money or making me clean up around the house. Plus, we barely have enough money to feed all of us, so there are some nights where I'm going to bed without dinner just to make sure Mom and Dad are fed.
I'm afraid that I had to do the exact same thing you did. I had to be smart about how to budget my money for all of us. And there were times where I had to skip meals for their sakes as well.
But I think Mom is doing it to punish me sometimes. Even when I know we have food, she won't let me have any unless I had gone for at least 3 job interviews that day. How am I supposed to keep going on like this?
Sounds to me like you'll just have to grit your teeth and get through it. But don't worry, I'm sure that even if you do everything you can to take care of her, in the end, she'll still complain about you to whoever'll lend an ear.
But that's just what happened to you.
You know, the more I hear someone else describe exactly what I went through, the more grateful I am that I'm leaving. So again, thank you so much for everything, Elena.
If you're really thankful, then the least you can do is give me some money. We're seriously just on the edge here. And I don't know how much more of Mom I can take. Please, I'm so sorry for everything, but you have to help us.
Not gonna happen. Good luck with all that. I heard that Elena tried to stick it out with my parents for a bit longer before her and her husband got fed up and left. And although they hadn't found full-time jobs, they both started working several part-time jobs to afford a small apartment for them both. Without either of their children to live off of, my mom flew into a bit of a panic and begged for either of us to come back. When I got those messages, I simply blocked my mom and everything and eventually got a new phone number.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.